a song of praise, hallelujah.
He gave me a song, 'twas a new song of praise. By day and by night its sweet notes I will raise. My heart's overflowing, I'm happy and free. I'll praise my Redeemer who has rescued me.
He brought me out
of the miry clay.
He set my
feet on the rock to stay. He puts a song in my soul today, a song of praise, hallelujah.
He brought me out
of the miry clay.
He set
my feet on the rock to stay. He puts a song in my soul today, a song of praise, 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 hallelujah.
Variety makes radio listening a pleasure. We have it. News, weather, sports, talk shows, today's country hits, and yesterday's memories. WCAB Rutherfordton.
Hi, I'm Mike Rayleigh. ISIS is claiming responsibility for a pair of deadly bombings which have claimed at least 25 lives in the Afghan capital today. CBS News correspondent Shoaib Sharafi is in Kabul and says journalists were apparently targeted as they were among the casualties of the second attack.
The first attack was carried out by a suicide bomber on a motorbike during morning rush hour. 4 people were killed in the attack. Soon after, a second explosion took place near journalists who had gathered to cover the first blast.
An investigation in Macon County after a fatal officer-involved shooting there. Officers are not releasing exactly what happened at this time, but they say the deputy discharged his duty weapon and the suspect was killed. A father of a 2-year-old girl is dead after 2 suspects fired into a pickup truck in Hoke County. The mother was injured after the shooting on Sunday morning at about 4:30, but 2 others inside the truck were not injured, including the little girl. Hoke County Sheriff Hubert Peterkin tells WRAL that 30 rounds were fired into the truck.
What we've confirmed just recently, 1 dead, another one shot, another one was injured from the shots, but not shot directly.
3 people have been arrested in the case. After traveling through Mexico, 200 Central American migrants attempting to seek asylum in the United States have been stopped in their tracks at the border. Despite being stopped, many hope they will be making it there. This man addressed a crowd when they arrived.
I am going to turn myself in and ask for asylum to enter the United States and ask them to respect the rights of the migrants.
The body of a second person in a boating accident on Hyco Lake last week has been located in Person County. The woman was identified as Jill Caldwell of Yanceyville. Crews continue to search for another man who was in the boat. You're listening to NCN News.
First place in election reporting, first place in editorials, another honor for news enterprise reporting. Carolina Journal earned all 3 awards from the North Carolina Press Association. When Carolina Journal watches government, people pay attention. Available each month as a free newspaper, every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
Who is the North Carolina High School Athletic Association?
We're dedicated educators, coaches, and mentors.
We are over 200,000 student athletes.
We are 400 teen-member high schools from small towns and big cities, anywhere from Murphy to Manteo.
We're your neighbors and friends that put on the striped shirts and officiate the games you love every week.
We are making a difference in building leaders of communities and this nation for the next generation.
Who are we? We are high school. We are the NCHSAA.
In the mountains, a kayaker drowned in the Linville River on Saturday evening. About 50 emergency responders assisted in the rescue, and officials say it took about 6 hours to find the man's body. Officials say the man is from out of state and no other injuries were reported. UNC officials say Bill Cosby can keep his honorary degree for now. The university awarded him the degree for his warmth, humor, and commitment to education after Cosby spoke at the university's 2003 commencement. UNC's senior Andrew Brock tells Spectrum News he's glad that Cosby was convicted.
After a couple of the, convictions came out, I'm kind of happy that justice was brought to the people who did actually deserve justice.
Want to live longer? CBS News' Jim Taylor reports a healthy lifestyle can increase your life expectancy by a lot.
Maintaining 5 healthy habits. Eating a healthy diet, exercising regularly, keeping a healthy body weight, not drinking too much alcohol, and not smoking during adulthood may add more than a decade to life expectancy. This according to a new study led by Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. They also find that those who maintain the healthiest lifestyles, 82% less likely to die from cardiovascular disease, 65% less likely to die from cancer.
A boy who's shot to instant fame by yodeling has a record deal. CBS News correspondent Deborah Rodriguez says the update.
Just a month ago, no one knew who he was, but now 11-year-old Mason Ramsey's releasing his debut single, Famous, after signing on with Atlantic Records. Mason was discovered after a video he made inside a Walmart March 27th went viral. He's already performed at the Coachella and Stagecoach music festivals in California, the Grand Ole Opry, and on The Ellen Show. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Mike Traley, NCN News.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356. From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. They have traveled for weeks hoping to get into the United States. Now a caravan of migrants is sitting on the U.S. border with Mexico. ABC's Alex Stone is near San Diego.
President Trump has called the caravan trying to enter here a threat to national security.
That mess that's going on right now with the caravan.
What was a group of several thousand early on in their journey is now only a few hundred. Many are women and children, and for now a majority are waiting for their asylum cases to be heard.
Vice President Pence visits another part of the California border today, speaking to members of the Border Patrol and seeing the latest construction on the wall. The number of choices for cell phone service may be about to go down. Sprint and T-Mobile say they have struck a $26 billion merger deal. T-Mobile chief John Ledger says,
"Together, we will build the highest capacity mobile network in U.S. history, with 30 times more capacity than T-Mobile today and speeds that are up to 100 times faster."
The admiral who saw a nomination to head up the VA derailed by misconduct allegations is also losing his job as President Trump's personal doctor. A White House official says Admiral Ronnie Jackson will no longer serve in that role. South Korea is taking another step after the summit with North Korea, taking down the loudspeakers along the border. But ABC's Kirat Roddy at the Foreign Desk says when it comes to the North's promise to cut its nuclear program,
there's reasons to be skeptical. The fact of the matter is that the North Koreans have lied and have cheated in every single nuclear deal that they've ever made. And let's not forget, they still have a dismal human rights record. They have 3 American citizens still held in North Korea. It's almost hard to see even a meeting with President Trump happening with those Americans still held in North Korea.
The teacher walkout in Arizona over pay and billions of dollars in cuts to state school funding continues. Thousands of teachers are expected to protest again in Phoenix. Schools across the state will be closed. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in taxes? The government now has tax debt relief programs in place, and you have rights. Call tax representation today. Join satisfied clients like Victoria.
I owe the IRS $32,000. They accepted $300.
She saved $31,700. Leroy owed $21,000.
The IRS accepted $500, and I saved $20,500.
Results may vary, but tax representation can help you. Has the IRS threatened to freeze your bank accounts, take your home, your cars, and garnish your wage? You don't have to fear the IRS any longer if you call tax representation. We are the industry experts with negotiating with the IRS, and one of the very few that has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. We'll contact the IRS the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call the tax representation hotline at 800-295-1046. Call 800-295-1046 today. That's 800-295-1046.
Former President George H.W. Bush still in a Houston hospital for treatment of a blood infection. He's hoping to get out soon. ABC's Jim Ryan.
George H.W. Bush buried his wife of 73 years on April 21st. The next day, he had a urinary tract infection, which turned into septic shock.
Doctors said he'd be in the intensive care unit for a week or whatever. He came back in 2 days.
Neil Bush says his 93-year-old father is now in a regular patient room and doing well.
Who knows when he's going to come home, but he's doing much, much better.
And he's already planning a trip to Maine. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
At least 24 people have been killed in twin suicide bombings in Kabul, Afghanistan. At least 8 reporters are among those killed. Questions today about a pair of attacks on bases in Syria. ABC's Jordana Miller with the latest from Jerusalem.
Syrian state TV says a number of missile strikes hit 2 of its military bases near Hama and Aleppo late Sunday night. More than 24 military personnel have been killed and scores injured, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. Iran's semi-official news agency says 18 Iranians are among the dead. This does have the hallmarks of an Israeli strike. Weapon depots and Iranian fighters were reportedly targeted, but Jerusalem is not commenting on the attack. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
And a driver in Great Britain has been arrested for using the autopilot mode on his Tesla. The problem was, police say after he turned on autopilot, he hopped over into the passenger seat. Not supposed to do that. This is ABC News.
With the stock market at all-time highs, cash in your profits now and invest in an asset that can potentially pay for up to 20 or more years. That's the sound of a producing oil well and the sound of a smart investment. If you're an SEC-defined accredited investor, you can take advantage of Encore Energy's projects. Call now to learn how you can potentially achieve 20 or more years of income and deduct 100% of every dollar invested against all forms of income. Call 1-800-803-8511. That's 1-800-803-8511. Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary.
I'm Sherry Preston.
Well, with springtime here, head on over to Oakland Feed and Seed for the things you need. Things like grass seed and garden seed, 10-10-10 fertilizer and 17-17-17 fertilizer. Oakland Feed and Seed carries Kentucky 31 and Rebel Turf and 5-star blend grass seed. That'll look good, won't it? They'll weigh up garden seed by the ounce or by the pound. How much do you need? They'll weigh up grass seed by the pound. Whatever your needs are, Scott and his team at Oakland Feed and Seed will try their best to do it for you. Need strong weed killer? Get it by the quart, gallon, and this kills all. 2.5 gallons is only $49.99. Get rid of them quick. They have fish box, 100 count, $19.99. Why don't you come check Oakland Feed and Seed out and check prices? All your animal health needs, from dog shots to wormers. And don't forget to pick up some fire ant control, too. They have what you need at Oakland Feed and Seed, Oakland Road, Spindale, locally owned and locally run.
We've got high pressure slipping slowly south and east across the region today. That should leave us with sunny skies to kick off the week. It'll be a little warmer than yesterday with low humidity still. We'll have highs around 68 to 73. Then tonight, clear and cool with calm or light winds, lows in the 40s. On Tuesday, we'll have plenty of sunshine, few if any clouds once again. And we'll continue our warming trend tomorrow. Highs around 78 to 84. We should add a couple more degrees on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
We can be happy about this weather forecast, I think. Everybody will be happy to know that all week long there's no rain in the forecast. Sunny skies and temperatures staying around 70, bumping up to 84 by the time Friday gets here. Now there is a 20% chance of shower activity developing Saturday afternoon, maybe Sunday, early morning Sunday, but nothing major. No heavy rains at all this week, all summer skies and temperature. First day of May, it's going to be a good one. Right now we have 39 degrees under clear skies. Had a beautiful full moon out there earlier today as well. So it's that time of year. Enjoy some nice warm weather without all the rain, right? We're glad to have you this morning waking up with us here on the WCAB's Wake Up Call. Thanks for making WCAB your radio station of choice. Now I have these death announcements. Betty Faye Cox Gosey, age 69, of Forest City, died Saturday at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. A graveside service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Saturday, May 5th, at the Alexander Cemetery, with Dr. Reverend John James Powell, Jr. officiating. The family will receive friends following the graveside service at the cemetery. At other times, they will be gathered at 271 Allen Drive, Forest City. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Betty Faye Cox Gosey. Delbert Lee Walk, Sr., died April 21st in Rutherfordton at the age of 83. A private family memorial and celebration of his life will be held sometime this summer, according to the funeral home. Crow's Mortuary is serving the family of Delbert Lee Walk. Siglyn Anna Putnam, age 77, of Mooresboro, died Friday, April 27th at Cleveland Regional Medical Center. A graveside service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Tuesday, May 1st at Sandy Run Baptist Church Cemetery with Reverend Ricky Petit officiating. The Family will receive friends from 6 until 8 p.m. Monday, April 30th at Harrelson Funeral Home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service has been entrusted with the arrangements for Sigland Anna Putnam. Those are the death announcements we have in the house this morning. You can get the complete information on these and others as they become available to us by tuning in at 11:30 this morning. Then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report. We'll have all that information for you for some public service right here at WCAB. Well, the Braves had a pretty good weekend. Also, they won both games Saturday and Sunday over the Phillies. Braves 4, Phillies 1 on Saturday. Braves 10, Phillies 1 on Saturday. So they got a pretty good series there. Phillies beat them on Friday 7-3. So it wasn't 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as they say down home, right? The Braves are off tonight, but they pick up on a series with the Mets starting May 1st. Speaking of May, WCAB will be broadcasting from the Mayfest celebration in downtown Rutherford Saturday, May 5th from 10 a.m. until 2 o'clock as we help kick off that 47th annual Mayfest celebration in downtown Rutherford. It's always exciting to be there. A lot of vendors on the street, a lot of good folks to meet, a lot of good food to eat, and good fellowship will be had by everyone who attends. We hope you'll make your plans to come out on Saturday, downtown Rutherford.
In New York City last week, a Manhattan Supreme Court judge ruled on a case brought by a Philadelphia tourist. The tourist had walked into a West Village bar, the Happiest Hour. But the bar staff was not happy with what he was wearing. He had on his Make America Great Again hat. So they kicked the guy out. They said anybody who supports Donald Trump is not welcome in the Happiest Hour bar. And the judge sided with the bigots. His verdict, the bar had every right to refuse to serve the Trump supporter. His political speech was not protected. His race would have been, religion would have been, but not his politics. Now, this goes to a point that I've been discussing on my show. We've got a two-tier justice system in this country. One tier requires us to bake their cakes for their gay weddings. The other tier supports them throwing us out of their bars. Now, how does this get fixed? If the U.S. justice system won't fix it, who's going to tell this bar, if you're serving the public, you can't refuse to serve people you disagree with politically? By the same token, while Trump is under a ridiculous partisan investigation, who will investigate James Comey? Who's going to investigate McCabe, Hillary, and Mueller? Mark these words. A day of reckoning is coming for this two-tier justice system. It's not going to be pretty. Today's technology makes things easier because everything's connected. Your cell phone, your tablet, even your smart TV, all connected to one account, and they're all connected to your Wi-Fi. It only takes just one weak link for a cyber thug criminal to break in and obtain your data. And that's why the new LifeLock identity theft protection now adds the power of Norton security to your devices. Now, while LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect threats to your identity, the addition of Norton security helps protect up to 5 of your devices from online threats. And if there's a problem, LifeLock's agents will work to fix it. Now, of course, no one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But new LifeLock with Norton gives you more protection for today's connected world. Join now, get 10% off your first year. Go online to LifeLock.com and enter the promo code RUSH. That's LifeLock.com. Remember, promo code RUSH.
WCAB has been serving the community with family-friendly radio programming for 50 years. Thank you, Rutherford County, for making WCAB your radio station of choice. Turn it up. WCAB 590 Rutherfordton.
Hi, I'm Johnny Erickson Tata. One afternoon, my husband and I went on a movie date at our local theater. It was there we met Celeste, a woman with cerebral palsy. Her job was greeting the theater customers, and she did so with such friendliness that we started up a conversation. After learning of our nonprofit organization, Johnny and Friends, Celeste signed up to volunteer. She would send thank you notes to our donors, and she even served at one of our summer camps for special needs families. Celeste did such a great job as a volunteer that we recruited her as an employee. That's because people with disabilities make great employees. They know how rare and precious a job is. And there are many jobs out there that are great, from accounting to teaching and more. Visit disabilitycampaign.org for ideas on careers for people with disabilities that you know.
Health insurance is complicated, and with healthcare reform on the way, it's not getting any simpler. If you've got questions, we've got agents. Your local Farm Bureau insurance agent can walk you through the changes and offer you the right healthcare plan with the right benefits for you. Healthcare may be changing, but our superior service isn't. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Hey, a good idea is to start the week off with a good, healthy meal, and you can get that at Gregory's Original. Gregory serves up perfectly good meals, whatever you order from the menu: cooked burgers, pasta plate, grinders, steak, delicious sandwich, or fresh garden salad from the salad bar. Make one stop and you'll be hooked too. Gregory's is a Rutherford County favorite. Also call on Gregory's for any catering event you might have coming up. That phone number to call him is 287-2171, 287-2171. From elaborate to simple, they can make it happen for you. They can make any occasion the perfect one. Call Gregory's and have lunch with them today.
Burton Mossman was born on April 30, 1867. At 16, he was a lowly cowboy in the plains of New Mexico. By 20, he had become the ranch foreman. At 30, he was the superintendent of the 2 million acre hash knife outfit located in northern Arizona. At that time, the Arizona Territory was overrun with outlaws and rustlers, and Mossman's main job was to stop the rustling of the hash knife cattle. And that is just what he did. He virtually had one gang in jail before he was able to inspect all of the hash knife ranch. Within 2 years, the hash knife was no longer losing cattle, but the ranch folded anyway. In 1901, Mossman got a call from Arizona's governor. The governor had formed a special law enforcement group to fight the criminals in Arizona. The group was called the Arizona Rangers, and he wanted Mossman to head them. Borders meant nothing to Mossman. In 1901, he and 3 Rangers went down to Mexico to get 6 men who had crossed the border after robbing a train. They found the train robbers holed up in an adobe building. When they refused to come out, the Rangers used 4 sticks of dynamite as encouragement. Extradition back to the States wasn't a concern because after the dust settled, 5 of the robbers were shot dead. The 6th managed to escape. Because of his aggressiveness, Mossman ended up having to resign from the Arizona Rangers after only 1 year of service. But during that year, Captain Mossman, or Cap, as his force of about 12 men called him, had put over 125 major criminals behind bars. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Well, we're ready to go to the phones now and find out what's been happening over the weekend around our neighborhood. And we stop first with the Sheriff's Department. And Officer King is on the phone with me right now to give us that update. Good morning. How you doing?
Good. How you doing today, Jim?
Doing great. Loving this forecast. This weather forecast. Going to be great this week.
Absolutely.
Tell us what's been going on over the weekend.
In the past 48 hours, the Sheriff's Department responded to 235 calls for service. There were 24 arrests processed in the jail, and the jail currently has 184 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, a Summer Little John from Joan Drive in Forest City reported misdemeanor larceny of a cell phone. Lisa Perez from Island Ford Road in Forest City reported an identity theft and obtaining property by false pretense. Gretchen Bunn from Campfield Church Road in Ellenboro reported larceny of a motor vehicle. It was a white Honda Odyssey van. It was also recovered. Emmett Davis from Forest Ford Road reported a misdemeanor larceny and second-degree trespass. Family Dollar from Main Street in Ellenboro reported a misdemeanor larceny. Various hand tools were taken. Kevin Bright from Phillips Drive in Forest City reported a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. It looks like some welding equipment was taken. Derek Walker, this is for the rest reports. Derek Walker from Gene Walker Drive in Ellenboro was served with misdemeanor probation violation, 2 counts, received a $10,000 secured bond. Brandon Sprouse from Canaan Drive in Rutherford was arrested and charged with felony possession of cocaine and civil possession of a controlled substance, Schedule 6. Christopher Humphreys from Bradley Road in Ellenboro was served with assault on a female and assault by strangulation, received a $10,000 secured bond. Holly Sharir from Rock Road in Rutherford was served with warrants for assault and battery and communicating threats. No bond listed. Delisha Wilkins from Dawnview Street in Forest City was served with failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $3,000 secured bond. And Matthew Allen from North Cleghorn Street in Ralston was served with a criminal summons for simple assault. And that's all we have for today.
Officer King, thank you very much for that report, and you be safe out there and enjoy the day.
All right, thank you, sir.
See ya. Bye-bye. 911 Communication Center report up next. It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the state of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. Here's Lindsay now with the report from the Communications Center on this Monday morning. Lindsay, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
Good. What's on the report from the weekend?
In the past 48 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 communications has processed 694 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 49 EMS, 28 rescue. Under law enforcement, 235 Sheriff's Office, 122 Forest City, 34 Lake Lure, 61 Rutherfordton, 107 Spindale. Under fire calls, Lake Lure had a structure fire, assisting departments Bills Creek, Green Hill, Chimney Rock, and Fairfield. Also, Ellenboro, Rutherfordton, Spindale, and Sandy Bush had motor vehicle accidents, and Green Hill and Spindale had an industrial fire alarm, and that is all.
Thanks, Lindsay. I do appreciate it. You have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye. Busy time over there at 911 over the weekend. That fire, they had fire damaged a large home along the shore of Lake Lure over the weekend. The fire happened at a home on Allen Drive Sunday afternoon. They saw a lot of pictures were posted on the social media about it. No report on what caused the fire yet. The Lake Lure Fire Department responded to the fire along with help from surrounding areas. Perhaps we can get more information from Steve when we talk with him up at Rumbling Ball. More of that, but one of those big homes burned through the weekend. Well, one of the things you can rest assured about, those of you who own automobiles or those of you who send your wives out with your car or own the car of their own, or your daughter or son's got his own car, and you want to make sure that it's trustworthy. Well, it can be if you can take it to Ellenberg's Garage up in in Gilkey. 110 Lowing Mill Road across from the old Gilkey School. You'll find Ellenberg's Garage. They got the top of the line equipment there. Got some professionals in there who know what they're doing, and they've got good, honest folks who'll take care of you in a fair, honest way. Ellenberg's Garage, get you ready for the hot weather coming up with air conditioning repair. Don't suffer through the summer because they're just right up the road a little ways. You need a transmission flush and new tires. Need the car wheel alignment. Take care of it at Ellenberg's Garage. Here's the phone number to call, 287-7996, 287-7996. Hit the road with confidence. Let your family hit the road with confidence, knowing the car has been well taken care of. Here is Ruby Taylor now with the Danieltown SDO report. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today, Ruby?
I'm doing okay.
Good. What's on the report?
Fire department didn't have any calls, and I've got Bobby Dixon and Amy Husky having birthdays today, and hope these people have a nice day. And the signs are in the secrets today and going to the thighs tomorrow, and that's all I've got, Jim.
Thanks, Ruby. Enjoy your day.
You too.
Bye.
Here's what our customers think about McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC.
I love my McCurry Deck Buick.
I love my McCurry Deck Chevrolet.
We love our
McCurry Deck GMC.
We guarantee you'll love McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC for city.
I am definitely a McCurry Deck customer for life.
I love the price and the McCurry Deck Customer for Life Rewards program. It gives you up to $3,000 or more in rewards.
Take the easy drive to savings. McCurry Deck for city. Discover the rewards of being a customer for life.
Well, Saturday is a big day for many things taking place, but we're excited to announce the opening of Rocking R Farms, LLC, over in Ellenboro. Rocking R Farms is the home of Mama's Farmhouse Elderberry Syrup, and open day is going to be a big one because, look, you can go by and enjoy hot biscuits to sample the honey and sample the molasses. You can do that from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. on Saturday. Take advantage of 50 cents on $1 vegetable plants while they last. Rockin' R Farms will carry produce, plants, flowers, honey, elderberry syrup, and so much more. You got to see this place. Opening May 5th, 8 a.m. until 2 o'clock for the opening day specials. Now, the regular business hours will be Monday through Friday, 8 until 6, and on Saturdays, 8 until 2. Just a half a mile east of Bethel Baptist Church. Steve Randall and his wife Amanda, the owners and operators, good folks, and you'll enjoy going by Saturday for the big grand opening at Rockin' R Farms, LLC. It's 151 Capri Park Drive in Ellenboro. Now let's head up toward Rumbling Ball this morning. Get a report. I'll be John's on the phone with me now. John, how you doing today?
Good. Good morning.
How you doing? Everything okay?
So far, so good. Yeah.
Good. Tell us what's been going on up there.
Well, we've had 9 fire calls for Fairfield Mountain Volunteer Fire Department. There was a structure fire off of Buffalo Shoals. Not sure what the extent of it was, but heard it was pretty bad. A tree fell down on Popular Court, knocked the power out, and they're still working on it. Duke's working on it right now. And I guess that's about all.
Well, sounds like it's pretty busy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, John, I appreciate you being on the radio this morning, and thanks for the report, and keep everything together up there. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Thank you.
Say, John. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
John filling in this morning for Steve, I guess. Steve probably out and about covering things. 26 now past 7 o'clock. And we'll be back with the next phone call right after this.
I told my friend about Olmsted Plumbing, and boy, was she happy.
What did she have to say?
I told her to call 245-7302, and they would get right out there.
And did she say she would
I told her to ask around. Homeowners, builders, and everybody likes Olmsted. Eric and Chad Olmsted and their team understand the homeowners' needs, and I like that.
They have an inventory of replacement parts and specialized equipment and tools for any job.
I told her that, too.
Well, what was that number again?
245-7302. That's 245.
Yeah, I got it. 245-7302. Olmsted Plumbing. I believe we got Bob Hodge on the phone now from Hudlow. Let's see what Bob's doing today. Bob, how you doing?
Oh, we're doing just fine on this Monday morning.
Well, this is the last one we're going to have this month, Bob.
That's right. Yeah, tomorrow starts another month here. But it's a little chilly around the edges over here this morning. But
it is.
But that sun coming up bright, so it won't be long. It'll warm up with us there, so we'll have a nice day up here today. And Jim, up here with the fire department's been fairly quiet over the weekend. We answered a few medical calls, and then yesterday we had a little brush fire call, and that's about it with the fire department up here. I want to say happy birthday to Gene Williams this morning. And, Jim, other than that, it's running pretty quiet up here in our territory today, so maybe it'll stay that way, and we'll have a good day up here.
Well, I sure hope so. We don't need any more fires or anything like that taking place. So everybody can be a nice, quiet, beautiful week with the weather being as nice as it is.
Yeah, look like it's going to be a nice week there. Look like ain't going to be much of a change to rain to the weekend, and it's not too big of a change. So
very slight.
Maybe it'll work out good, though, for Mayfest Day and rest there. So.
I believe it's going to be a good day for Mayfest. I sure do. I hope you'll get a chance to come into town and enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, Jim, you have a good day, and I'll be talking to you in the morning.
Bob, thanks so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you then.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's the Hudlow Volunteer Fire Department spokesman, Bob Hodge, on the radio with me this morning. Well, Hutchins Pest Control is one of those companies that you can feel good about calling because they're honest, dependable, and on time. Tim Hutchins is the owner, along with his family, Chad, Charlie, and Emily. They have loved to go out and do the work for you, and they've been bragged on by a lot of folks. If you want them to take care of it before it becomes a problem, call them now. And that number is 287-5171, 287-5171. And take care of it before it really becomes a problem. Call on Hutchins Pest Control. 34 years experience, and with their family name behind what they do, you can rest assured it'll be done right. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control at 287-5171. That's 287-5171. Hutchins Pest Control. Honest, dependable, and on time. And it's a good time to go up to Washburn Store because they've got a lot of things that you look for in this time of year, like a lot of all kinds of seeds, garden seeds you can get ready. And if you're looking for some work gloves to work outside with, they got some of those things. They got some work utensils. They got just about anything you're looking for, from a little tiny screw to a big old nail. And they also carry plenty of rock candy, plenty of horehound candy, plenty of garden seeds, fescue, creepy red and regular, seed potatoes, onion sets. All of that's available at your one-stop Washburn Store. Pointer brand overalls for those of you who love to wear those. If they don't have your size, they'll order it for you, but I'd be surprised if they don't have your size. They got them for big old boys and girls to little old boys and girls. Plenty of honey and plenty of molasses at Washburn Store between Bostic and Sunshine, right there on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. And let's see, not too far from there, we'll find Sue Price over in the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim. It's a nice morning over here.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
It is. I started out cool at 35, but it's going to warm up pretty quick and be a nice warm day, and birds already out, and everything's looking good.
I've been waiting for a week like this.
I know. It makes you feel better to hear the weather report like we've got for this week.
I know. Yeah.
Well, let's see. I don't have any calls from the fire department. Don't have any birthdays at all on my calendars for today, so not too much going on over here. And don't have any announcements, Jim. It's just quiet and calm, and just looking for a really good day and good week. And I hope you'll have a good day today.
Thanks, Sue. You enjoy your day as well, and enjoy the sunshine.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. One of the things, we had this report from, they alluded to this a moment ago, but on April 26th, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office detectives from the Narcotics Division and Criminal Investigations Division, in cooperation with the North Carolina Probation and Parole Office, arrested 6 individuals with warrants and parole probation violations. Here are some of the folks they arrested. Arrested at 252 Old Sunshine Road, Bostic, Daniel Lee Funderburk III, charged with misdemeanor probation violation out of the county. Also, Paul Charles Green of 107 Winchester Drive, Ellenboro, charged with a misdemeanor probation violation out of county. John Blaine Rogers, 147 Main Street, Henrietta, felony parole warrant charge. Thomas Zachary Norris, Broken Limb Court, Rutherfordton, felony possessed stolen motor vehicle. Christian Blake Weathers, 195 Iron Horse Drive, Rutherfordton, felony probation violation and misdemeanor probation violation. And Neil Randall Cuthbertson, Mountain Creek Road, Rutherfordton, arrested on North Washington Street, Rutherfordton, for misdemeanor probation violation. Those from the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office detective from the Narcotics Division making those arrests. More than 1 million Americans have heart attacks each year. And if you or a loved one experiences symptoms of a heart attack, every second matters. That's why the emergency department at Rutherford Regional Health System is a chest pain accredited facility. What does that mean to you? It means quality care here at home that could save precious seconds when treating the symptoms of heart attacks. To learn more about Rutherford Regional and its commitment to safe quality care, visit myrutherfordregional.com.
Get ready for those hot summer months driving with a stop at RS Speedy Lube, Railroad Avenue. The Express Inspection Station gets you back on the road and keeps you legal. Speedy Lube has 2 lanes to serve you, gets you in and out in no time, and vacuum your car while the oil is being changed, air conditioner checked, transmission flushed, wiper blades replaced if needed, even a top-of-the-line car wash, all at RS Speedy Lube and Inspection Station, Railroad Avenue in Ruth. Take care of that car and have a safe trip.
Well, when it comes time, ladies and gentlemen, that you're beginning to recognize the loss of hearing is beginning to be a problem for you, Miracle Ear is standing by to assist you with that. Good folks over there to work with. You'll find them ready and able to assist you with never any pressure put on you. They have that free hearing test, too. Doesn't cost anything, no obligation to that. Lisa Terry is the hearing specialist there, and she'll be glad to talk with you and answer any question about it. If you're beginning to recognize that more and more times you're not able to be a part of the conversation, it becomes more of an isolated thing, it may be time to start looking into that. Miracle Ear's A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They're located right here in Forest City at 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102. And the phone number is 828-368-4126. That's 368-4126. Over in Shelby, they're at 1506 East Dixon Boulevard. Check with them. And when it's time for a hearing test, let Miracle Ear do that work for you.
It's time for you to test drive the affordable, fuel-efficient Ford Fusion from Sisk Family Ford in Forest City. Family-owned Sisk Ford can put you into the car you want with a payment plan you can appreciate. If it's a truck you want, get the Ford truck that's breaking records in sales. Ask about why the sales department is being bragged on with each and every sale that they make. They love your business at Sisk Family Ford, and it shows. New and used automobiles and an award-winning service department makes Sisk Family Ford the choice for so many. Step up to Ford today. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Well, they're on strike, ladies and gentlemen. They're on strike. Of course, Brenda Kelly is going to be off the radio this week, and we can't get in touch with Luther over in Ellenboro. I believe they're striking on me, not available to do the report. But Brenda's taking a little time off. Luther may be oversleeping this morning. But we'll let you call your birthdays in right now. Birthdays and anniversaries. We'll still have a birthday party in spite of that. Birthdays and anniversaries can be called in at 287-3356, 287-3356, and we'll celebrate and give away some donuts here in just a few moments from Granny B's. Birthdays and anniversaries coming up.
The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is now offering the flippable mattress. Check out these for a really great night's sleep. The Recliner Center is needing to make room for some new styles of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric. Water beads up instead of soaking into the fabric. Leave it to the Recliner Center to offer you the best choices and best prices. Ask to see the new wall hugger style furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Well, it's always a pleasure in the mornings to stop in or drop in because they always have a breakfast special every month, a different special sometimes. And today you can enjoy the April special at breakfast time. The April biscuit special, that is a sausage and egg biscuit for just $1.99. A 2-liter Pepsi for $1.59 or 3 for $1. And Drop-In always has good hot S&D coffee for 99 cents, and I'll go good with that breakfast. It's always a pleasure to do business right there at Drop-In. All over the county you find them. Kids, you ought to try that new flavored Sour Patch Red Berry milkshake. Maybe after school today, run by and get you one of those milkshakes. Milkshakes are only $2.98. And remember, veterans, I would like to say this to you. Veterans get 10% off all day, every day, not just once in a while. It's every day veteran special. Drop-In Food and Major League Delis are Rutherford County Veteran Service Only Platinum sponsors. The Drop-In is your hometown convenience store since 1981, and they value your patronage. Come on in. Drop-In. The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304. Henson Building Material is so much in step with what's happening around our community. A lot of growth going on, a lot of things happen. A lot of people are doing remodeling, building houses, remodeling some things in their home, changing around the rooms. And they're finding that Henson is right on step with you. They got what you need. They have all the building materials you want. They have the Duke Street location. Henson Building Material has a lot of things in the store that you may not know they've got if it's been a long time since you were in there. Come on back home. Come on back to Henson Building Material for electrical, plumbing, power tools, door hardware, cleaning supplies. Darren Honeycutt, the manager, and his team over there have 100 years of combined experience. There are a lot of things they can help you with. Just give them an opportunity to show you how much they care about your business. Henson Building Materials. Stop by real soon, and if it's just a roll of duct tape, you'll find them willing and able to help you. They're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, 8 to 12 on Saturdays. It's very civic-minded. They do a lot of work for Habitat, and you'll find them very easy to work with. Oh, by the way, they've also now the dealer for Georgia boots. They have several styles in stock, and you can order any style you want as well. See them at Henson Building Material. The Southern Carpet, they understand how real life is. You understand how it is. Those of you who are busy, got a busy-paced lifestyle. Kids make a mess. Dogs track in mud. That's why Southern Carpet carries floors that stand up to the day-to-day, like Tarkett flooring. Beautiful, 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 beautiful flooring. They have the widest range of flooring products that are both beautiful and resilient. And that's important. If you spend money on flooring, you want it to last a while and keep looking good for a long time. That's Tarkett. Right now you can find out more about this product at Southern Carpet in Forest City. Get some excellent pricing here in the springtime. You'll find the perfect floor to fit your home and your budget. So hurry on in. Take advantage of some great deals and choose from the excellent selection of Tarkett only at Southern Carpet, 1512 West Main Street in Forest City. Well, I hope you're calling your birthdays and anniversaries in, because we're going to have a party here in a few minutes and give away some of those delicious Daylight Donuts from Granny B's. Meanwhile, stop in over at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply and register to win a tiller. Yep, George's going to be giving another tiller away, and he's got all the things you need for springtime gardening. If you're working on your garden, be sure to get what you need over there. And if you got some erosion problems from that last rain we've had, they got some things over there to help you with that, plus plenty of dog food of all kinds and beautiful flowering plants and flowers and hanging baskets. Just a great place to shop. Good, friendly folks, and they'll help you there, load it into your car, your truck. Got plenty of mulch if you want to buy the scoop or buy the big truckloads. They got that. They handle that for you. It's just one of these well-stocked places to shop. That's Farmer's Friend right across the road here on Whiteside Road. You can't miss them. Go by to see them. Maybe today. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about.
Happy
birthday. Well, happy birthday. I know there's some folks celebrating on this last day of the month. Here it is, April the 30th. Avery Lovelace and Sarah Davis all having birthdays today. Other folks celebrating includes, is that Ella Hamilton, 67, works over at White Oak. I know Ella Hamilton real well. She works at White Oak. Alex Owens, 23, lives over at Cleghorn. Is that right? Lives in Cleghorn. And Caden Francis. Caden Francis, 15, over in Shiloh area. So wish these folks a happy, happy birthday. We'll find out who's going to win the Daylight Donuts here in just a moment.
Ben Heck said, time is a circus, always packing up and moving away. In Ecclesiastes, we're told that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. But we always seem to be saying, I just don't have enough time, or my how time flies. We live in a fast-paced world. Almost every time we leave home and pull out of the driveway, we are made aware of the fast-paced world that technology has created. Man has harnessed mechanical power in numerous ways in order to free us from heavy labor. It has been a successful endeavor, but in some ways it feels like we the people are the ones in the harness now. As the burdens of heavy manual labor have been lifted and greater mobility provided, we seem to have gotten busier and busier. We've replaced muscle power with brain drain, which leaves many people worn out and exhausted. Periodically, we need to bring our lives to a halt, sit down, reevaluate our priorities, and make time to just be. We need to enjoy recreation at a less hectic pace instead of racing through playtime at the same frenzied speed at which we work. Taking time to sit quietly in prayer and meditation refreshes both soul and body. Even Jesus took time out to rest and pray. We'd do well to follow his example. It's a wise and healthy way to live. Why not take time today? This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
And excuse me, congratulations going out to Ella Hamilton. She's won the Daylight Donuts this morning. She's 67 today. Works over at White Oaks Manor. And so we wish her a happy, happy birthday. We'll have that certificate over here for Ella to pick up, take it by Granny B's, and enjoy those donuts. Coming up next hour, we're going to do the job market report. Terry Thomas will tell us where some job opportunities are, and they are plentiful, folks. A lot of jobs, a lot of folks needing work. Don't say you can't find a job because they're there. And we'll find out from Terry in just a few moments where some of those job opportunities are. Then we're going to have someone in here, a special guest in here a little after. I'm not sure who's coming, but we're going to be talking about the National Day of Prayer for a few minutes, taking place this week over at the courthouse. We'll talk with, I think Ernie's coming in. We'll see. Then at 8:30 this morning, Word of Faith Fellowship speaks out right here live in the studio. A lot of things packing out right here at the Mighty 590.
So come go with me. Come into my heart. Tell me, darling, we will never part. I need you, darling, so come go with me. Yes, I need you. Yes, I really need you. Please say you never leave me. Yes, say you never. Yes, you really never.
You never give me a chance.
Come into my heart. Tell me, darling, we will never part. I need you, darling, so come go with me.
You never give me a chance.
I love you, darling, so come go with me. Come go with me, way beyond the sea. I need you, darling, so come go with me. Come on, go with me. Come on, go with me.
What makes a good radio station? Local involvement, complete news coverage, sports, constant weather updates, talk shows, contests, today's country hits, and yesterday's memories. Come to think of it, I guess you're listening to it. WCAB.
Join WCAB Radio Saturday, May 5th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. as we help kick off the 47th annual Mayfest celebration in downtown Rutherfordton. Food, games, arts, crafts, and live music, and be fun for everybody. Be a lot of things going on you'll enjoy. Come on by Saturday morning at Mayfest in downtown Rutherfordton.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. The U.S.-led coalition against ISIS has declared an end to major combat operations in Iraq. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick reports from the Pentagon.
In a statement this morning, the coalition said it was deactivating its headquarters in Baghdad and declaring an end to combat operations. But this is not the end of the mission. U.S. forces will continue to train, advise, and equip Iraqi missions to go after the remnants of ISIS. There is still particular concern about the border areas with Syria.
Could a primary be any more low-key? May 8th is Election Day, and early voting has already started, but the election, with a statewide race of major issue on the ballot, is not getting much attention. NC State political science professor Andy Taylor says there are some who are motivated.
There's a lot of Democratic energy, so there are a lot of Democrats out there, some of whom are absolute no-hopers who are just doing it because they're moved to do it.
A second person is being charged with murder and kidnapping in the death of a Charlotte woman who was reported missing 2 weeks ago. 24-year-old Ashley Helms and 38-year-old Richard Jordan are now charged in the death of Alexis Fraley. Detectives say Fraley and Jordan apparently knew each other and had some sort of dispute.
Ms. Fraley's family has been notified of her death. We cannot at this point say what exactly occurred and the manner of her death.
7 small communities in north central Arizona have been evacuated as a growing wildfire threatens about 500 homes. Tender Fire Public Information Officer Brian Scott.
Significant evacuation took place, and it looked like a fairly orderly one. Not everybody has left. As I understand it, just a handful that did not.
The Martin County Sheriff's Office has called in the SBI to help investigate a homicide that happened over the weekend in Beargrass. Authorities say they believe this is an isolated incident and do not believe there is any danger to the public. The name of the victim has not been released. You're listening to NCN News.
First place in election reporting, first place in editorials, another honor for news enterprise reporting. Carolina Journal earned all 3 awards from the North Carolina Press Association. When Carolina Journal watches government, people pay attention. Available each month as a free newspaper, every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
The Powerade State Games of North Carolina are coming this June to the Piedmont Triad. Registration is open for athletes of all ages and skill levels in 24 different sports. The Powerade State Games feature 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on the largest sports festival of the year. Visit PoweradeStateGames.org today. The Powerade State Games are brought to you by BB&T, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, and Lowe's Foods. For more information, visit PoweradeStateGames.org.
An investigation in Macon County after a fatal officer-involved shooting there. Authorities are not releasing exactly what happened at this time, but they say the deputy discharged his duty weapon and the suspect was killed. T-Mobile and Sprint say they've reached an agreement to combine into a new company that would reshape the U.S. wireless landscape by reducing it to 3 major cell phone carriers. The companies say the merger would allow them to slash prices and could make them a stronger competitor to the larger AT&T and Verizon. Lee Gallagher is a senior editor with Fortune magazine and says the two companies say they need this to compete with future technology.
They are positioning it actually as this is better value for consumers, and this will be better for the marketplace in general. They're saying that our technology will be better when it's merged and when we can invest more. They're saying they're going to spend a lot. They're playing to the heartstrings of some very topical issues right now. They're saying we're going to hire a lot more. We are going to help lead America in the race for 5G.
A fire at Hillcrest Apartments has displaced around 12 people in Asheville. Kelly Klopp of the Asheville Fire Department tells WLOS they were fortunate no one was injured.
Thankfully, no injuries, and we're so grateful for that, especially in the middle of the night. Yeah, we're very thankful that we have reported no injuries to civilians or firefighters.
Unifying North and South Korea begins with syncing up their time zones.
According to the South Koreans, Kim Jong-un walked into the Peace House at this summit and he saw 2 clocks on the wall, one that had Pyongyang time, one that had Seoul time, and the South Koreans said that Kim Jong-un actually said that made him sad to see that. The reason that time zone difference exists is because back in 2015, Kim Jong-un set the clocks back in North Korea a half hour to what became known as Pyongyang time to really show that they're separate. But now Kim Jong-un says the first thing that the two Koreas should
get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB sales department today at 287-3356. From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Hundreds of migrants who say they want asylum in the U.S. have now made their way to the border between Mexico and California. ABC's Alex Stone is on the border near San Diego.
Once they do go inside the port of entry, they won't walk out on the U.S. side. The migrants will be sent to detention centers. They'll be interviewed there over time to figure out if they really are fleeing violence in their home countries. Those who are considered credible may get GPS tracking devices to join family in the U.S. That's the issue President Trump has, that they could be allowed into U.S. society.
T-Mobile and Sprint say they're ready to team up. The third and fourth largest wireless carriers have struck a merger deal. ABC News chief business correspondent Rebecca Jarvis.
Unlike most mergers, they say that they're going to take the savings of the combined companies and give them back to consumers, and from day one, lower prices. They also say that they'll build out 5G nationwide over the next year, and that will add thousands of jobs. Plus, they plan to introduce a broadband competitor in rural communities, which currently have just one option.
South Korea this morning is taking down the loudspeakers that had set up along the DMZ. ABC's Martha Raddatz says negotiators are still working on details for that summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
Late May, early June, they say. The president said on Friday 2 or possibly 3 locations. It's been reported that Singapore is likely, but the White House has not confirmed anything at this point and is still doing a lot of diplomatic work leading up to this.
One of the jurors who convicted Bill Cosby of sexual assault says Bill Cosby's own words sealed his fate. Harrison Snyder spoke exclusively with ABC News.
In the deposition, he stated that he gave these drugs to other women. I don't think it really necessarily mattered that these other 5 women were here, because he said it himself that he used these drugs for other women.
Sources tell ABC News Joseph D'Angelo being held on suicide watch. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. With a call to National Tax Helpline, you can stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. Once you've qualified and enrolled, the IRS will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs, you may qualify for substantial savings. So get the help you need. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, call now for free information and to see if you qualify. Take down the number now for the Tax Helpline. 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055 for free information. 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055.
The controversy continues after the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Critics say Michelle Wolf, the comedian who had the keynote, took unfair shots at Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. At the White House, ABC's Cecilia Vega.
The president is now calling for a major overhaul to the dinner or to even end it altogether. Many say that Sarah Sanders is owed an apology for having to sit there and listen to those jokes while she was on stage. So far from the organizers, no apology. The White House Correspondents Association does say that the goal of this evening is to celebrate the First Amendment and journalism scholarships, and that Michelle Wolf's routine was not in the spirit of that.
Today, the president hosts the leader of an African country.
Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari is the first African leader to visit the White House since President Trump took office. The two men are expected to talk economic and security issues. Nigeria is one of Africa's most troubled nations when it comes to extremism. This visit is also the first since Trump's reported vulgar remarks about African countries, reportedly saying people from Nigeria wouldn't want to return to their huts if allowed to visit the U.S.
That's ABC's Kenneth Moten. Thousands have been ordered to evacuate as firefighters in northern Arizona try to get a hold of a wildfire that has already blazed through about 8,000 acres. There's no word yet on exactly what sparked the fire. And in Phoenix, teachers will again be protesting their pay and billions of cuts in school funding today that is forcing schools across Arizona to shut down again. This is ABC News.
With the stock market at all-time highs, cash in your profits now and invest in an asset that can potentially pay for up to 20 or more years. That's the sound of a producing oil well and the sound of a smart investment. If you're an SEC-defined accredited investor, you can take advantage of Encore Energy's projects. Call now to learn how you can potentially achieve 20 or more years of income and deduct 100% of every dollar invested against all forms of income. Call 1-800-803-8511. That's 1-800-803-8511. Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary.
Rutherford Regional Health System now features its walk-in services at Forest City Family Care at 212 Allendale Drive, Forest City, just behind the Tri-City Mall. Those needing walk-in care enjoy the same great services, but now at the new location. They continue to operate Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. The scope of services remain unchanged for the walk-in patients. When you don't have an appointment but need to be seen quickly, we hope you'll choose the walk-in services now located at the rear entrance of Forest City Family Care.
Our sheriff, Chris Francis, is running for re-election May the 8th, and he is the only candidate who knows the office of sheriff from the ground up. Under his command, the last 7+ years, he has displayed leadership and management skills and has established a professional department. Morale is the best in years, and the crime rate is down. Sheriff Francis is a native of Rutherford County. He has a B.S. degree in criminal justice and has a sterling reputation in the county and amongst his peers. Give Sheriff Francis and his deputies a vote of confidence for the job well done on May the 8th, paid for by Ken and Kathy Staggs.
We've got high pressure slipping slowly south and east across the region today. That should leave us with sunny skies to kick off the week. It'll be a little warmer than yesterday with low humidity still. We'll have highs around 68 to 73. Then tonight, clear and cool with calm or light winds, lows in the 40s. On Tuesday, we'll have plenty of sunshine, few if any clouds once again. And we'll continue our warming trend tomorrow. Highs around 78 to 84. We should add a couple more degrees on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
We're starting out a little cool this morning, but it's going to be warming up nicely. We started out at 38. We're now at 41, warming up to 73 before it's all over with today, and a lot of sun. Wind's going to be gusting about 13 miles per hour is about all. And then tomorrow, sunny again with highs around 81, 82 on Wednesday, 83 Thursday, and 84 on Friday. And then the weekend dropping a little bit and a little bit of a chance of a passing shower in the afternoon. But everything looks good for the next few days. Sunny skies and spring-like weather as we bump into May first thing tomorrow morning. Again, right now, sunny and 41 degrees. Well, there are jobs everywhere. And here's a man to tell us about some of them. It's Terry Thomas. He's on radio with me right now. Terry, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hope you're doing well.
Yes, sir.
Good. Tell folks where some of these jobs are.
Okay. We are going to start in the Columbus area. We have a safety coordinator. This job requires a bachelor's degree and at least 5 years experience, and the pay depends upon experience. In the Tryon area, we have a loading dock supervisor. This job requires at least 3 years experience. You must have a Class A CDL license, and this job pays from $15 up to $18 an hour, depending upon experience. Over in the Spindale area, we have an inbound sales representative. This is working in a call center. You must have a high school diploma and or GED and at least 6 months experience in sales or customer service. This job pays from $9.50 an hour up to $10.60 an hour, depending upon experience. These next 3 positions will be working in various counties such as Rutherford, Polk, and McDowell counties. We have an environmental health specialist. This job requires a bachelor's degree and at least 2 years experience, and you must be registered as a sanitarian in North Carolina. And this job pays $37,000 up to $48,000 a year, depending upon experience. We also have an environmental health supervisor position. This job requires a bachelor's degree and at least 3 years experience, and you also must be registered as a sanitarian in North Carolina, and this job pays $50,000 to $65,000 a year, depending upon experience. And we also have a physician extender 2 positions for the Rutherford, Polk, McDowell districts. You must be licensed in the state of North Carolina. You must have a bachelor's degree and at least 2 years experience, and this job pays from $73,000 to $96,000 a year, depending upon experience. And this week, on Wednesday, May the 2nd, we will be assisting with a job fair over at Isothermal Community College in the Student Center gym. There's at least approximately 50 employers that's going to be there. They will be covering industries such as healthcare, hospitality, human services, manufacturing and maintenance, public safety, retail, and I'm sure other categories. This will be Wednesday, May the 2nd at Isothermal Community College in the Student Center gym. This will be from 1 to 5 p.m. So there'll be a lot of employers willing to talk to you. And these are just a few of the jobs that we have available at the Rutherford County NC Works Career Center. We are located at 223 Charlotte Road, Rutherfordton. For more information on these positions, you can call us at 286-3042, or you can go on our website at www.ncworks.gov.
Jobs everywhere. Terry Thomas, thank you for sharing that information with us, and we hope folks indeed will respond and get off the couch and go to work.
It's my pleasure.
You have a great week.
You too.
Bye-bye. 11 minutes after 8 o'clock here on this Monday morning, the last day of April 30th. Congratulations to Ella Hamilton. She is 67 today. She won the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's, and she works over White Oak Manor. So we want to wish Ella Hamilton a happy birthday and hope she enjoys the donuts. We were scheduled to have someone in this morning from the Ministerial Association in the county to talk about the National Day of Prayer, which is coming up May 3rd. No one is here. I don't know if they forgot, slept in, or what. Communications didn't work out. Whatever the case may be, they're not here to talk about it. But all I can tell you is it is going to be Thursday morning, noontime at 12 o'clock there on the courthouse lawn, and everybody is welcome to come. It's a non-denominational Pray for America Unity National Day of Prayer. Coincides with the one that's being held nationally, and we're doing this in Rutherford County also. Be held at the courthouse there on the lawn, and you're invited to come and be a part of that. The National Day of Prayer mobilizes unified public prayer for America, and it's going to take place generally very brief. There'll be some music available there to enjoy. Then there's prayers for the government, prayers for the military, prayers for the media, prayers for business, prayers for education, church, and the family. And those are the National Day of Prayer emphasis on Thursday at noon at the courthouse. And, of course, you can come out and be a part of that, enjoy that as well. Don't know where my guest is, but that's okay. We get that word, as long as we get that word out to you and let you know that you're invited. You don't have to belong to any particular religious organization to come. It can be anybody who believes in prayer and come out and be a part of that on Thursday. Noontime right there at the courthouse. All right, now we got some bits of information from here and there right after some of these messages.
Hi, I'm Steve Theodoropoulos, and I'm running for sheriff. We are at a true crossroads in our community. We need change and strong leadership. We face difficult choices. Crime in our county is up. We have a major drug problem. Property crime is up as well, and a current sheriff who is not dealing with the issues. First, I will develop a citizens review board so the community has a voice at the sheriff's office. Second, as a retired state trooper and federal agent, I will bring a no-nonsense approach to fighting crime in our community. It is time the good old boy system find a new home. Elect me on May 8th, and I will bring accountability and transparency back to the sheriff's office. Paid for by Steve Theodoropoulos, Republican for sheriff.
With today's hurry-up and undependable world, you need an insurance agency that will give you excellent service. Maxwell B. Hamrick Agency delivers the security and service that you're looking for. You'll always be in good hands with Hamrick Insurance. They offer auto, business, homeowners, health, and life. They are an independent agency with 3 locations to conveniently serve you: Main Street in Boiling Springs, Lafayette Street in Shelby, and Huntley Street in Spindale. Call Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance today at 286-2384.
I'm District Attorney Ted Bell, and I'm asking for your vote for re-election in the Republican primary. When I was elected District Attorney 4 years ago, I promised to hold criminals accountable. The UNC School of Government recently recognized our office as having the highest per capita felony conviction rate in the entire state. Because as District Attorney, I will continue to do everything I can to fight crime and protect our communities. Please vote for me, Ted Bell, for re-election as District Attorney in the Republican primary on May 8th. Thank you. Paid for by the committee to elect Ted Bell.
One of the Carolinas' leading bark mulch manufacturers is Spindale Wholesale Mulch Company, 325 Spindale Street. They can accommodate any mulch project you may have. They carry single ground hardwood mulch, double ground pine bark mulch, color enriched hardwood mulch, organic topsoil, organic compost, mushroom compost, premium potting mixes, aged pine bark, and best start garden soil. These mulches are high-quality Appalachian bark that is blended for the best performance. Spindale Wholesale Mulch also carries rock, stone, gravel. Great prices guaranteed. See them today, open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 8 until noon. Phone them, 287-3561.
Life's always moving. Rush hour traffic, school pickups, and running errands. You're racking up miles. Michelin makes sure you keep up with the new long-lasting Michelin Defender tire with 80,000-mile warranty and safety you expect. Now you can enjoy the trip. At Tri-City Tire on East Mountain Street in Rutherfordton, you're always number one. Service you can count on at a price you'll smile about. So if it's a big job, small fix, or just some free friendly advice before you hit the road, take it to the pros at Tri-City Tire in Rutherfordton, and you'll get the peace of mind you deserve. Tri-City Tire has been serving their customers for years, but they still do it on a first-name basis and take the time for each and every one of them. Just come on down and they'll take care of you with a warm handshake and a friendly smile. Doing it right, doing it fast, and always at a great price. Your hometown local dealer, especially when you need one. That's Tri-City Tire in Rutherfordton.
Need a ride to work? Now, thanks to Rutherford County Transit, there are free rides to work. Call 828-287-6142 to sign up. Rutherford County Transit operates Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. If the lack of transportation has kept you from getting a job and going to work, that problem has just been solved. Call Transit today at 828-287-6142. Services are subject to change and based on availability of funding, equipment, and personnel.
Hi everyone, this is Amber McCraw at Smith Drugs of Forest City, North Carolina. I just wanted to let you know about some of the great items that we have in at the gift shop right now. We have just received a new line of a foldable street sneaker called Cruisers. Very comfy, easy to leave at the office. I also have a new line of loungewear that is a company called Hello Mellow. We have tank tops, long sleeve tees, shorts, and robes, all perfect gifts for Mother's Day. I have 2 left feet, which are super soft underwear for men and women, and socks with all kinds of awesome designs. Please come and check us out. We look forward to seeing you, and as always, have a wonderful day.
Fellow citizens, let's support our sheriff of 7+ years for re-election May 8th. Candidates that talk the talk have to walk the walk, and Sheriff Chris Francis has clearly done the walk. For accountability and proficiency, Sheriff Francis assigned professionals to supervise each division. This, along with training, changing to straight shifts, and upgrading of uniforms for better mobility, has increased arrest and lowered the crime rate. He increased the 1K9 unit to 4 and initiated a program in the jail to fight opioid addiction. Because Sheriff Francis cares, he lectures on various crimes such as scams on the seniors, domestic terrorists in churches, and how to safely store and dispose prescription drugs. His leadership and management skills were best described by a highly respected law enforcement professional who said that Sheriff Chris Francis is, without a doubt, the most dedicated, aggressive, crime-suppressing sheriff Rutherford County has had in the last 30 years. Vote for Sheriff Chris Francis, the one with proven experience. Paid for by committee to elect Sheriff Chris Francis.
It's 19 past 8 o'clock here on WCAB's Morning Wake-Up Call. Some other stories from here and there this morning. Big fire up on Lake Lure. One of the fires were damaged. Large home along the shore of Lake Lure. This fire happened at a home on Allen Drive Sunday afternoon. Don't have any word yet on the cause of that fire. The Lake Lure Fire Department, along with some other units, responded to that fire. No word yet on the circumstances around it, but there was a major fire there on the lake over the weekend. Other news being reported, a 28-year-old son of a Rutherfordton homeowner was indicted for first-degree arson by the Rutherford County Grand Jury Monday, April 23rd. The grand jury returned 28 true indictments. Manley Austin Blackburn was charged with first-degree arson in February for setting a house on fire on North Cleghorn Street in Rutherfordton. Blackburn lived there with his mother, Carlos Terry Pruitt, and his brother. According to Lieutenant Rick Gilbert of the Rutherfordton Police Department, Pruitt was not at home at the time of the fire but was en route home after stopping for pizza for the two sons. When she arrived at home, she saw the fire trucks. The sons were the only people at the house when the fire started in a bedroom. Blackman was taken to Rutherford Regional Medical Center where he was treated for smoke inhalation that Friday night. Blackburn remains in the Rutherford County Detention Facility under a $125,000 bond. Charges are pending against the driver of a Kia Spectra that crashed last week, killing the passengers. Sergeant Joey Vaughn of the Spindale Police Department said he is awaiting full toxicology reports on the occupants of the vehicle before moving forward with recommendations of charges. Joseph Ray Shires, 34 of Florida Avenue in Spindale, was a passenger in the 2009 Kia Spectra when it crashed last Thursday morning, April 19th, on West Street in Spindale. The Kia was driven by Victoria Michelle Ray, 26 of Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton. Vaughn said she was traveling west on West Street towards Spindale Street when she veered off the road, crossed the center line, and ran into a deep ditch. When the car went into the ditch, it overturned on its side. Showers was not wearing a seatbelt. Ray was taken to the Rutherford Regional Medical Center, where she had been treated for her injuries and later released. Showers is the fourth person to die on Rutherford County highways in 2008. Well, early voting starts today here in the Rutherford County area and across the state. One-stop absentee voting for the May 8th primary election continues with voting at the Rutherford County Annex, ending Saturday, May 5th. Beginning Monday through Friday, May 4th, early voting will be from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. weekdays, and Saturday morning voting will be 8:30 until 1. Early voting is also continued at the Board of Elections on 298 Fairground Road, Spindale. Every weekday until May 5th, early voting will be from 8:30 to 5 p.m. The only Saturday early voting is on May 5th from 8:30 to 1 at the Elections Office and also at the Rutherford County Annex. More than 1,000 voters have cast ballots for early voting since it began a week ago. Voting day is Tuesday, May 8th, with polls opening in every precinct from 6:30 until 7:30. 4 Republicans are seeking the nomination for sheriff, including incumbent Chris Francis, challenger Wayne Guffey, Steve Theodopoulos, and Joey Brantle. District attorney candidates are incumbent Ted Bell and former Assistant District Attorney Garland Franklin Byers Jr. There are 3 Republicans seeking the Board of Education District 1 nomination. They are R.A. Henson, Brandy Edney Natty, and Drew Radford. 4 Republicans are vying for the nomination for the U.S. House of Representatives, including incumbent Patrick McHenry. Challengers are Jeff Gregory, Ira Roberts, Albert Lee Wiley Jr., Seth Blankenship, and Gina Colliers. Democrats will select a nominee for the North Carolina State Senate District 47 that's being held by Republican Ralph Heiss. Voters are registered unaffiliated to have a choice between voting a Democratic Party ballot or Republican Party ballots. And we have Ernie Cole with us this morning in the studio to talk a little bit about the big prayer day coming up on Thursday. Ernie, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you here this morning. Tell us very briefly about the what's planned on Thursday.
This coming Thursday is the National Day of Prayer. We'll be meeting at the courthouse in Rutherford at noon, looking for some great weather, so hopefully folks can come out and pray. If there's ever been a time we need prayer, it's now. And we have a lot of folks that are praying for the prayer, and so we hope that you'll make plans to come out. If you can't come out, I've told folks this: just stop what you're doing at work or wherever and pray for just a moment. But if you can come out, we're looking for a good crowd to come out on Thursday for the National Day of Prayer. The theme this year is called Unity. And I believe we all understand what that means, that we need to come together as a nation.
It seems to grow every year. The attendance seems to get bigger and bigger each year. People are beginning to support this big time.
Yes, I think people are beginning to realize the need for prayer. I remember my wife got a tag on her car years ago, simply said, "Prayer changes things." And it does. Even people who are not true believers pray in their own way. So, but we're at a place right now in our nation, we really, truly need prayer.
This is a program on Thursday, a prayer vigil on Thursday. General lasts, about 20, 30 minutes?
Well, we want to keep it to around 30 to 40 minutes. That's everybody praying and not doing a lot of speaking, but a lot of praying. You'll be involved in that as well. We appreciate you always being there with us and taking part in that. It means a lot to us. But we just want to encourage folks to come out and be a part of it. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip lunch that day, and you look at me and say I don't skip a lot of lunches, but I'm willing to skip lunch that day so that I can be there and be a part of that.
It's a good time to do that for folks on their lunch hour to come on by for a few minutes. Doesn't take very long at all.
Yeah, I've had a lot of folks that say they're going to do that, and like I say, we're going to try to be done by 30 to 40 minutes at the very most.
Yeah.
I think our permit only lasts for an hour anyway, so but we're going to try to be through by then. That way folks can at least get there and get back to their jobs.
Ernie called my guest this morning. He's part of the prayer vigil on Thursday morning at the courthouse on the lawn there. We appreciate all the efforts you guys put together every year to do this, and we appreciate your belief in prayer.
We always appreciate you giving us the opportunity to speak. So thank you very much.
Well, the sheriff's report coming up with Officer King this morning, and we'll have that right now.
In the past 48 hours, the Sheriff's Department responded to 235 calls for service. There were 24 arrests processed in the jail, and the jail currently has 184 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, a Summer Little John from Joan Drive in Forest City reported misdemeanor larceny of a cell phone. Lisa Perez from Island Ford Road in Forest City reported an identity theft and obtaining property by false pretense. Gretchen Bunn from Campfield Church Road in Ellenboro reported larceny of a motor vehicle. It was a white Honda Odyssey van. It was also recovered. Emmett Davis from Forest Ford Road reported a misdemeanor larceny and second-degree trespass. Family Dollar from Main Street in Ellenboro reported a misdemeanor larceny. Various hand tools were taken. Kevin Bright from Phillips Drive in Forest City reported a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. It looks like some welding equipment was taken. Derek Walker, this is for the rest reports. Derek Walker from Gene Walker Drive in Ellenboro was served with misdemeanor probation violation, 2 counts, received a $10,000 secured bond. Brandon Sprouse from Canaan Drive in Rutherford was arrested and charged with felony possession of cocaine and civil possession of a controlled substance, Schedule 6. Christopher Humphreys from Bradley Road in Ellenboro was served with assault on a female and assault by strangulation, received a $10,000 secured bond. Holly Sharir from Rock Road in Rutherford was served with warrants for assault and battery and communicating threats. No bond listed. Delisha Wilkins from Dawnview Street in Forest City was served with failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $3,000 secured bond. And Matthew Allen from North Cleghorn Street in Ralston was served with a criminal summons for simple assault. And that's all we have for today.
We've got high pressure slipping slowly south and east across the region today. That should leave us with sunny skies to kick off the week. It'll be a little warmer than yesterday with low humidity still. We'll have highs around 68 to 73. Then tonight, clear and cool with calm or light winds, lows in the 40s. On Tuesday, we'll have plenty of sunshine, few if any clouds once again. And we'll continue our warming trend tomorrow. Highs around 78 to 84. We should add a couple more degrees on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Beautiful weather here in the neighborhood. Right now we're up to 45 degrees. We'll bump it up on 73 for a daytime high today with sunny skies. Matter of fact, we're going to have sunny weather all this week. The only possibility of any rain coming Saturday, and that's probably late afternoon, that's only a 20% chance of rain on Saturday and again on Sunday. But all this week, beautiful weather, warms up every day. Thursday 83, Friday 84, and that's nice weather for the breaking of brand new month of May. So we welcome May here in our neighborhood. And again right now, 45 degrees on this last day of April. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much again for being with us. This is Word of Faith Responds, and we're here for another great program. And today I have just a wonderful couple with me in our church, Word of Faith Fellowship. It's Bill and Rose Price. And so Bill and Rose want to share with you their testimony. And one of the things that we have been doing now for over 4 months is sharing with you all the things that Jesus has done in our lives. You know, the Bible talks about how we just want to sing the praises of God and tell about the goodness of God and all the things that He's done for us. And that's some of what we've been doing here, is just sharing about how Jesus has touched our lives, how Jesus has changed us, how Jesus has brought us from so many different backgrounds and pasts, and sometimes where lives have been totally destroyed and a mess, and God has just totally restored. And so today we have Bill and Rose with us, and they're going to share with you about how Jesus has changed their lives and all the things they've done. So I'm going to turn it over to Rose first. Rose, go ahead.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jim, for allowing us to be here, and thank you, Rutherford County, for listening and the surrounding areas. We just want to share with you what God's done in our life. We've been together now 27 years. It don't seem like it's been that long, but we're grateful, that, God's brought us together. We're kind of like most of Rutherford County. We could be a statistic. Both of us came from divorced families at a young age. And, of course, statistics say most people that come from a divorced family won't be anything. my parents actually divorced when I was 5 years old. It was very hard. I was very close to my dad. My mom had moved away. She went back home to Texas. And then because of court systems, they kind of made her have to move back up to Michigan.
Is that where you grew up? Did you grow up in Michigan?
Yeah, I grew up in Michigan. So when my mom went back, because the divorce was so bad, I can remember a situation when I was about 7 years old. My parents had gotten in an argument, and my mom tried to seriously hurt my dad, and that really affected me because I loved both of my parents. And then it didn't continue. It didn't stop. I went to my dad for visitations, and it was like when I was with him, he would talk negative about my mom. When I was with my mom, she would talk negative about my dad. And so really it just came to a point, and it seemed to get worse because both of them remarried at the same time. I was 10 years old when both my mom and my dad remarried. So now I have step-parents also. And at that point, it added more confusion in my life because my parents sent me to church when I was little. So I was raised Baptist. But when they remarried, my stepfather was Jehovah's Witness, and then my stepmom was Catholic. So that just brought a lot of confusion because you go from being Baptist and celebrating holidays to, in Jehovah's Witness, they don't celebrate holidays. And at the time, I didn't understand it. And then in Catholic, it was just you went to church and you listened to the sermon and that was it. And so, but I saw in both of them that they lived how they wanted to live. And, I had convictions in my heart. You didn't do certain things. I guess somewhere my grandparents instilled it in me. So especially with on my stepmom's side, I didn't understand why you could be out partying and doing all this stuff on a Saturday and then go into church acting like everything was fine. So that just added more confusion, and because it seemed like when both of them remarried, it got worse. The talking about each other, the negativity about each other, it got worse. And as children, we were put in the middle, and we suffered a lot. So about 13, 14 years old, I decided I couldn't take it no more. I love both my parents. I couldn't choose between which one, because I was very close. I grew up going out hunting with my dad, doing stuff with him. So at this point, I decided that's it. I can't take it. I moved out for a while with a cousin and of my mom's, and so I wound up being abused there. So I went back home, and I told my mom about it, and of course she didn't believe me. So at this point, I'm like, how can you not believe your own child and what I'm saying? And so, of course, she didn't. Later on in years, I found out she never said anything to my stepfather. And he later on, when he found out, he's like, I would have done something. I'm so sorry. But of course, because she didn't say anything, she didn't do anything, that just affected our relationship more. So I stayed at home for about a year. And at this point, the rebellion in my heart got so strong that it didn't matter what my parents said. I was going to do what I wanted to do. I would sneak out at night. I would lie to them about where I was at. And at this point, I'd started drinking. And I wound up, it was my sophomore year of high school, and I wound up getting sick and was out of school for about 3 months. I wound up with mono. And so with that, I couldn't do anything, just pretty much sit in a chair all day. And I really couldn't do my work. I had advanced classes, and of course back then you had the computer and it had the floppy disks, so so I I couldn't make up the work. So I wound up dropping out of high school. I mean, at that point, I felt like I had no other choice. I was going to have to remake everything up, and I didn't want to do that because I knew I could do better. And I had a counselor at that point that said, when I dropped out, you'll be nothing. You'll do nothing. You'll live on welfare the rest of your life. And I'm like, no, I won't. That's not what the will of God is for me. You know, I knew that in my heart. So from that point, I moved in with my sister because the relationship, I couldn't live with my parents anymore. And I was still determined what I want to do. My sister tried to help me some. At that point, I had met a guy that had lived in Chicago, and of course my mom begged me not to go because he was like, just come here for a weekend with me. And he was older. He was about 21 and I was 15, and I was like, I'm going. You can't tell me what to do. I will do what I want to do. And of course, this point, the drinking had got worse because that was like my escape from the world. I drank the harder the stuff. I mean, I did it because it was like it left me feeling like I didn't have to deal with anything. So I went away for a weekend, and he had some friends over, and it was a bad situation. And up to this point, I just really had cut God off in my life. Because prior to this, when I was with my sister, I did go to school for just a short period of time. And there was this guy that was in class with me, and he went to church, and so I went with him to a youth meeting. And the youth in the church was mocking the minister that was over the youth program. And I was like, you don't do that. You don't mock the pastors or anybody in leadership. So I quit going that, and that's when it had turned for the worse. So I went to Chicago, and it was bad. And I remember laying in the bed that night, and I just prayed, God, if there's any way, have mercy on me. Let me get out of this situation, you know, and God honored that prayer. So when I got back, of course, I broke off the relationship and everything. And I mean, my sister did everything she could to help me. She was the oldest out of four of us. But by that point, I was so hurt. I was so wounded. And at this point, for 3 years, I didn't have my dad in my life. So the drinking just kept getting worse and worse. And then I started turning to the drugs and the smoking. And then it was a little while after I broke the relationship up that Bill and I had met. I was 15, going on 16. And of course, at the time, he was 20. So, of course, later on I found out he had told his mom I was a little bit older, so she wouldn't worry about it. Like your typical teenage person. I can still remember to this day when his mom found out. At that point, we were expecting our first child. I wound up getting pregnant at 16 and having him when I was 17. And so when she found out my age, she lost it. She said, what do you mean? You're only this age? Billy told me. So, so from there, we tried to do what we could. Still wasn't in church. The drinking was getting worse. Of course, I stopped through my pregnancy, drinking and doing the drugs, you know, because I knew it wasn't healthy for our son. So I at least stopped during that period of time. And then from there, I just remember just praying and thinking, I mean, the conviction of God came so strongly on me because our son suffered from febrile seizures. And of course, at this time, I'm 18, having to deal with a son that he would be fine when I laid him in the crib, and he would spike a fever and have a seizure. and I'd have to call 911. And it was scary, you know, because I was so young. I didn't know what to do. So one day I was sitting in the chair, and I just remember praying, God, if I don't change for anything else, I've got to change for my son. You know, I don't want him to do the same thing I did. I don't want him to go down the same path as I went down. And at that point, I didn't know what to do. I remember taking him to the park one day and just thinking, I've got to get back in church. If I don't, I'm going to die. I'm not going to live to even be 21. I mean, that's what I felt inside, because the drinking was just so bad. And but I didn't know what to do, because I knew Bill didn't go to church, never had mentioned church. So I'm like, what am I going to do? You know, I love him. I don't want to lose him, but I'm going to die if I don't get back in church. So one morning, I went to him, and I said, I've got to go to church. And that's when he informed me that he was going to church. So I'll let you pick it up from there.
Pick it up from there. Thank you again, Jim, and everybody for tuning in. And just to catch up, you know, I was born and raised in Michigan as well. And in my childhood, my father and my mom, they separated very early. My father and my mother separated very early, so I really didn't have any early childhood of my father. So I grew up really fatherless for the most part of my life. My mom did not go to church, and actually she had went to church prior to us, I guess, being born, and there was a situation she got hurt in church, so therefore we didn't go to church. We knew nothing about God. We knew nothing about the things of God. We knew nothing about church. So I grew up I was like a heathen, more or less, me and my other siblings. I have a sister, an older sister, and a younger brother at that time. So for the most part of my childhood, it was just existing, going through life, just existing. No purpose, no aim, seeing other people going to church, but really they were no different from me, because the people that I was around, they went to church, but yet they did the same things that I did. So therefore it kind of bred something in me as far as, why do I even need God? Because they're doing the same things I'm doing. And this carried on through junior high, and in high school it really escalated to a point where, you know, it was making fun of the things of God, because here I am, I'm struggling out in the world and given to everything, and these people, these so-claimed Christians, are doing the same thing as I. But again, not having no stability, no direction in life, when you have a child or a young person like that, they just are bound to give to anything. And that's what I did. I had friends that were in the gangs. I had friends that were in drugs. I had friends that were the so-called the nerds of the school. And I would be around all of them, because I was so mixed up. I didn't know what I wanted, who I was, or what I was even supposed to do in life, because I had no foundation. And I felt in my heart that this was snowballing. It was year after year was getting worse and worse and worse. The only thing I cared about was having a job, making sure I had a vehicle, putting money into my vehicle, and just hanging out. And that's all I cared about. But yet at the felt time, something in me felt like it was about to erupt. I didn't know what it was. And it was almost like a self-destruction coming, but it's like I couldn't put my finger on it. I just knew something was not right. And like Rose said, you try to cover that up with things. You try to cover that up with having fun. You try to cover that up with drugs and whatever. And it wasn't working anymore. So after high school, I'd worked all the way through high school. My first job was at 16 years old. And I would just work and hang out and do whatever. After high school, again, no direction, no purpose. I got a job as a security guard. And I was working as a security guard in the phone company. And I remember one time, it was the escort service where we used to escort the ladies out because it was a bad neighborhood and so forth. And again, at that time, just not really having any direction, not knowing what I wanted to do, not knowing what was going on, but just knowing that something needed to change. And I remember she came to me, the lady I was escorting out one day, and she said, we were talking about, at that time, let me back up a little bit. I had met Rose, and our oldest son, William, was born. And that right there kind of just really kind of put I don't know, it was just really God, I guess God began to deal with my heart. And I really didn't see it was God, because I knew growing up, I did not want to ever put a child into that same situation. But yet here I was doing the same thing. And I remember one time I was out hanging out with some friends, and I was coming back home. And it was a part of town I was just crossing over this bridge, and I said, God, if you're real, I need help. I need to change. I don't know what to do. And little by little, God began to change me, began to put things in my life, and things began to turn around. So at that point, I was, like I said, I was working at that job as a security guard, and I was talking to this lady I was escorting out, on the job one night. And she said, have you ever thought about working at the phone company? I said, no, I've never thought about working at the phone company. What do you have to do? She said, you have to take a test. Now here, I've been escorting this lady out for months and everything. She said, well, I'm the one that gives the test. I'm like, really? And she said, I think you would do well. So she allowed me to take the test. And sure enough, I tested well, and I got hired in at the phone company. And so at that point, again, there was a lot of turmoil still going on in my life, and that was the point that Rose and I made a decision, to go to church. I knew my sister had begun to go to church prior to that, and I had been going over her house and just asking her questions, because I knew if my sister went to church and began to go to church, something must be something about this. And prior to that, my brother had begun to go to church. So I would go over there and visit, and inside I was just seeking God, and didn't know what I was seeking, but I would just ask questions about the things of God, and she would answer my questions, and it felt good, and it felt right, and I couldn't explain it, but it was like God was drawing me. God was really drawing me. So I got into the phone company. I started off as a telephone operator, and at that time we started going to church together. And in church, we were just learning about the things of God, and I was hungry. It wasn't really a thing about going to church. It was really God coming into your life and experiencing God. And if I think back on everything, it was just like, God, we were so hungry. We were so hungry, and God was just fulfilling that need. As we're crying out to God and learning about God, God was blessing me, because I was a telephone operator. I was there for a year, and I moved over to become a service representative, and I was in that job a year, and I was #1 in sales at AT&T in that division. And from there, I moved into management, and all the while we're learning God, and God is dealing with our hearts. God is uprooting all that stuff that we gave to as young people. And there came a point in time, and I would say about 1999. At this time, our oldest son, of course, was born. We had our oldest daughter and my youngest daughter. Our youngest daughter was born around about 1999. And that's the time I went into management. And at that time, God had really, really began to deal with our hearts, as far as, there was something more that we needed in the things of God. Also, prior to that, we began to come down here for seminars and visit the Word of Faith. And when we came down the first time, I knew it was something real about these people. It was nothing I could not explain. They were genuine. And I was wondering, how could somebody be so happy? Because I'd never seen that before in my life. They seemed so real. They seemed to glow almost. They were so real. And at that point, thank you. At that point, I knew a bar had been raised in my life. And it wasn't, again, the church. It was the work that God was doing in their hearts. A bar was raised. And I'm like, God, that's attainable. I would say half of me was like wanting that. The other half that I would have not gave to God yet was fighting against that. So it was that struggle. So all the while we would come down to seminars and we would visit, and we would go back, we would come down to seminars and visit, and God was still doing a work in our hearts. And at the same time, God was promoting me more and more and more on my job. So there came to a point in time when Rose and I came together, and we knew that God was calling us to move down here. I knew it with all my heart, but at the same time, there was that part that was struggling with me as well. And I remember the time when we came down and made a visit. We paid a visit down here and just stayed a week. And God spoke to our hearts both. It was for us to move, And again, when God speaks that, still the devil's right there after you, pulling on everything in your heart. And it was a struggle. It was really a struggle for me. Rose she was on board. She was, let's go. Let's do it tomorrow.
Because at that point, God had just spoke to me the scripture in Ruth, where Ruth said to Naomi, your God will be my God. Where you go, I will go. And we'll serve God together forever. And God had spoke that to me, and I knew God was going to take care of me. And I knew this was the place I belonged, because like Bill said, you felt such the love of God, the peace of God when we came down here the first time that you couldn't deny. And I was like, this is what I was looking for, because prior to, I told my dad, I said, You know, I want a church that really wants to know God, that really wants to walk according to the Bible. I don't want something that's fake. I don't want something where people just jump, scream, and shout. You know, I want it where people really want to know Jesus. And so out of that place, God gave me that scripture, that your God will be my God, and we'll serve him together forever. And then God gave me that scripture also in Mark where, you know, whoever leaves houses and lands and families, God will bless you even more. And it's in Mark. And from that point, I knew that I had to move here. It wasn't someone told me. It wasn't, no man spoke it to me. God put it in my heart, and I could not deny what God was speaking to me.
So at that time at AT&T, I was managing two different departments. I was managing a smaller department and a larger department, and this larger department handled all the, whenever there was an area code split, we would handle all the toll air fallout. So it was a major job. So I had, you know, Rose and I had talked after we came down to visit the Word of Faith, and we knew we had to move. So I knew I had to leave AT&T. We knew we had to move. So I went to go talk to my director one morning, and I said, Sue, I need to talk to you. She said, well, great, Bill. I need to talk to you as well. I said, well, you go first. She said, no, you go first. And I'm so glad she let me go first. And I told her kind of a brief nutshell what God had been doing in my heart. And I told her that I had to resign. And I'm sorry, it has been great working for her, but I had to resign. And she was like, almost like devastated. She's like, I don't believe this. And I'm like, what do you mean? She said, well, I understand what you have to do, and I'm happy for you. But one of the other managers just left, and I was going to give you that other department as well. So therefore, I'm glad that she let me go first with everything that was going on as far as the struggles in my heart. So I resigned from AT&T, and we moved down here to the North Carolina. And again, I knew in my heart that, you know, God said to move. But of course, you know, in the natural, when you still have a lot of things that still need to be developed and delivered from, it's like, what are you going to do? What are we going to do? What about this and what about that? And, you know, it was really just giving our heart and said, God, we're going to trust you. We're going to trust. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what was going to befold us, but we're going to trust you. But at the same time, I knew that God had done everything that he had done up to that point. He had started me off at that job at the low point and brought me every step of the way. And again, I didn't know what to expect, but I knew God had done that. And it was almost like, if you think about David and Goliath, you know, the lion and the bear, I was holding on to God. I knew you did this, and I know you did this, and I'm trusting that you're going to do this. And as we moved down here, yes, God has tremendously blessed us. And we knew we could not stay where we were at in Michigan because, you know, the place was full of crime. It was full of drugs. And we knew that we wouldn't be able to make it and our children wouldn't be able to make it, you know. And like Rose said, you know, if it was anything, it was for our children. So that's what I began to cry out, God, you know, I know you want us to move for our children's sake, to do a work in our hearts, do a work in our lives, and make a better way. And since we've been down here, God has just tremendously blessed us. You know, our oldest child is married. He has a beautiful wife and a beautiful son. Our oldest daughter, she's graduated from the Word of Faith Christian School. Our youngest daughter has graduated as of last year from the Word of Faith Christian School with 2 degrees. And our youngest son graduates next year. And outside of that, God has just tremendously blessed us while we've been here. And God has done such a work in our hearts. And I can even look back now and see that the keeping power of God on our lives. And it was no man, it was God doing that work in our hearts and our lives and keeping us up into this place and still, you know, more things to come. And so I just give God all the glory for what he has brought us through, where he's taken us from, and what he's done so far. And I just give God all the glory.
And, you know, just step back one moment. When we were expecting my first son, I wound up going back and getting my GED. So shortly after we moved here, God had put in my heart to go into nursing. And honestly, I was hoping that wasn't what God was speaking, because I was passed out at the sight of blood. And I went to Jane one day, really hoping she'd say no. But, you know, like she's always told us, go to Jesus. And she said, just cry out to Jesus. She said, and just make sure the children go first. Make sure you put your children first before school. And so that's what I did. And I wound up getting my LPN license, and I love it. I love nursing. I love taking care of people. And I'm actually now in the RN program to get my associates and eventually my bachelor's. But that's what God's done, you know, and working out in the county and around the counties, I hear a lot of stuff. You know, I hear where you can't do this. They take your money. No, they don't. I've had situations where my nephew passed away and my mom died right before I moved here in a terrible accident. And when I had to go take care of those things, Jane asked me, do you have the finances? And at the time we didn't. We just moved here. It happened right after we moved here. She gave me the money. So she don't take my money, she gives me money. And we've lived together, you know, because other things like you can't, husbands and wives can't live together. No, my husband's lived with me all the entire time we've lived here. And recently, God's blessed us with a house and beautiful cars. And, you know, even recently, I came up where someone said, well, you can't do anything. You can't talk to anybody unless Jane tells you. No, I talk to whoever. When I'm at school, we go out for lunch. People ride my car. When we have projects for school, because nursing, you have lots of projects that you have to work on. They come to my house. We work on it together. So it's nothing like what people say. You know, you can come to church anytime you want. And all the church has ever done is helped us. When we first moved here, we had really nothing, you know, because God spoke to us to lead the job we had. And God's blessed us beyond what we were ever making up north. And we lived in one of the church houses. And when we didn't have money for rent, it wasn't a problem. You know, and we were so grateful. When we lived in that house for about 15 years. We've lived in North Carolina for 16 years, and we love it. I don't plan on going anywhere because this is where God sent me. This is the church God put me in. No man told me to come here. No man's ever controlled me, and I love it.
And thank you so much, Bill and Rose. And I understand, you know, it's interesting as Word of Faith church members, we work out in the community, and as Rose shared, sometimes we get shocked at some of these lies that we hear about our church. You know, we're just like, wait, what did you just say? Who are you doing? And of course, you heard from Rose that how shocked she was at hearing these things and how untrue it is, and you wonder where it gets started and how it keeps mushrooming. But you know, what a wonderful testimony from both of you, how you both came from broken homes. And, you know, Rose, you were an alcoholic at such a young age and even just left your family. I mean, 15 years old and just roaming around and getting into trouble, and how God still had his hand on both of you. It's amazing how God's drawing power was on both of you in the midst of it all. And God saw this place in your heart where you wanted God, and God just kept leading you to get to exactly where you need to be, even though it's, you know, North Carolina, and you never would have thought so. But it just shows the hand of God. It shows how God works. You know, God's drawing all of us. God has such a plan for all of us, and when you just simply open your heart and you yield to that, it's amazing the blessings that come. I know your house is beautiful, and God's blessed you both with great jobs and wonderful children. So thank you so much for sharing, and I thank you, listeners, for listening to this program again. We enjoy sharing about Jesus and what Jesus has done. We hope that you will continue to listen to us. We're here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:30 to 9. And go to our website. It's wordoffaithfellowship.org, and you can learn more about our church and actually hear more of our radio programs from the past. Thanks. We hope you have a great day.
Rebecca Jarvis says could cut the number of major wireless carriers from 4 to 3.
Fewer options typically means higher prices, but they're making the argument here that T-Mobile and Sprint have been the lowest price options for years. They've really pushed the